Hello and welcome. My name is Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind the Country Chic Cottage. Today we're going to talk about another heat press. This is the Transpro Plus 16x20 semi-auto heat press. What does semi-auto mean? What are all the features of this? How does it work? We're going to answer all of those questions within this video. Now, this press is comparably priced to a full price auto press. However, it has a ton of other features. And the main feature I wanted to highlight with this review is that it has a pressure readout. So if you have ever used a heat press and you are like, what pressure am I using? What does light, medium, and heavy pressure even mean? Am I getting it correct? This press has a pressure readout, so you can tell exactly what pressure you're pressing at each and every time. That was the main reason I wanted to add this heat press to my YouTube channel, so you can see what it looks like to use a press that has a pressure readout and just how simple it makes things. First, we're going to dive into the setup, which is very, very simple. So a simple setup process for this press. We'll take a look at what's included with the press itself. And then yes, we are going to use it to make a variety of projects. So first of all, let's take a look at the setup of this press. To assemble the press, first you'll add the control panel to the back, and you're going to secure it with 4 screws, 2 on each side. Then you will attach the 2 cords to the control panel from the bottom. And all you do is push those in and screw them into place with the nut that is attached to the cord. You also do need to connect the 2 white connectors on the inside of this. So I would not recommend actually putting it on to the press before you connect this connection. So there's 2 connections that you need to screw in, as well as this white connector that you need to connect the 2 white plugs together. Then you'll add the power cable to the back. And finally, you will attach the handle to the front drawer slide with 2 screws and an Allen wrench. Now your press is set up and ready to plug in and use. The press also comes with a heat resistant glove as well as a Teflon sheet. Then the bottom pad itself is covered first with this cloth piece, and it's also covered with Teflon. So the cover makes it very smooth, and I do really like that feature. Some of the features include a pull-out drawer, so you can pull it out, do what you need to here, and push it back in before you press. There is also a double handle, so there's a handle here and a handle here, and I do like that because often one is easier to grab than the other. You also turn this handle for adjustable pressure, turning the pressure up and down. And you can also flip it to where it is either an auto close, auto open, or manual. So in this position with this black piece down, it's in automatic mode, so you have an auto open feature. If you want to use it in manual mode, all you have to do is to flip this to the opposite side. So the side without the black piece would mean it's in manual mode, so you would just open and close it manually. Finally, this bottom platen is also interchangeable. So if you wanted to change it out for something like this small platen, you can easily swap one platen for another platen. The press that I am showing you, the platen that came with it is 16 by 20 inches. It is the same size as the heating element. Now there are options to change this platen to a 4x4, a 6x10, a 6x20, a 8x10, or even an 11x15. So if I wanted a different size platen on this heat press, it is so easy to change it out. So there is a quick swap lock, and you just literally flip it, and then this platen lifts off. Lift it straight up, and you can see the locking mechanism. You would just put your next platen on, pull it to lock it into place. Then when I want to change it out, just lift that up, and you just put that next platen into place and lock it down. So the quick swap feature makes it super easy to change out the platens. To turn the press on, there's a switch in the back. Press the set button until temperature is flashing. When I see temperature is flashing, I can then use the arrow buttons to turn the temperature up and down. Press set again to set that temperature. The press will then start heating up. When time is flashing, I can use the arrow buttons to set the time I want. And I'm going to set this for about 10 seconds so we can see that auto open feature. Then if I press set once more, you can see the counter. So this is if I wanted to count how many pieces I was making, I could set that, and I could also set it to 0. Set one more time, and we can see that everything is ready because nothing is flashing. The maximum temperature on this press is 430 degrees Fahrenheit or 221 degrees Celsius. You can also change the temperature to Celsius if you would like. The readout in the lower right corner is the pressure. So 1 to 3 is a light pressure, 4 to 7 is a medium, and 8 to 9 is a heavy pressure. So let's take a look at this pressure readout. If I was to close that right now, I'm at about a 2 pressure, so I'm at a very light pressure. Also, when I'm doing this, there is a button over here, green button. Even if I am in auto mode, I can press the green button to release the press. So now if I tighten the pressure down, close the press, you can see I'm about a 5 pressure now. So I'm about a medium pressure. Again, green button, release the press. I'm gonna tighten it down even more. And now I'm about an 8 pressure, so I am a heavy pressure at this point. So now it is very easy for me to tell what pressure I'm at any point in time. This round button is for your presets. If I wanted to use a preset, I would just hold that down for 3 seconds, and it changes to various presets. The time and temperature for those presets are listed in your manual, so you can check those out, or you can change them to be whatever you want. So now let's make a few projects with this press to get a better idea on how it works. So the first thing I'm gonna do is add HTV to a shirt. I'm just gonna put the shirt in, and first I wanna preheat the shirt. So I could do that with the automatic on, or I could flip it and turn that automatic off. That way I could hold this down for however long I wanted to, ignoring the time on there. And once I was done, I could just lift it up manually and then switch it back to automatic. Now the HTV I'm using is B-Flex Gimme 5, and it's 285 degrees for just 4 seconds. I actually have it set to 5 seconds just to give it a little bit of an extra press. And I do want a medium pressure, so I'm going to adjust the pressure, lock it down. I'm still at a heavy. Remember, I have that digital readout so I can tell. And now I'm at about a medium pressure, so I can add the HTV into place. And then I am just going to press, this time using the automatic feature. And it just pops right up whenever it's done. Didn't have to do anything. And then I am just gonna let this cool just a second. Then I can just peel back that carrier sheet. And seriously, this looks so good. So one project done with HTV in this press. Let's try DTF next. So to do that, I'm going to change to 325 for 15 seconds. So I have it heating up to the 325, but I'm putting it on a zipper pouch, and I'm going to have it over to the side, sort of testing if we have even pressure here. So I do need a heavy pressure, so I'm going to make sure it's a heavy pressure while at the same time preheating this bag. So I do want to get it preheated, and now I'm at a heavy pressure, and we'll just go ahead and let it preheat for a few more seconds. And I might turn the pressure up just a little bit. So that is a very good pressure, and everything should be preheated at this point. Then I can just add my DTF print. I'm going to kind of add it to one side here. And I am going to use a couple of pieces of heat resistant tape just to hold that into place. So it is up to temperature now. However, the press does not beep when it comes to temperature. I just wanted to note that. Zipper hanging off the side, DTF print in place. We're just going to press. Again, it auto opened because I had the auto down. And now you do need to peel this cold, so I'm just going to let it cool a little bit and then we'll peel it back. In the meantime, I turned my press up to 385 degrees for 55 seconds so we can do some sublimation. And now for this DTF print, I can just peel that carrier sheet back, and it is stuck great and looks amazing. The first thing I'm going to do is a shirt for the sublimation. Now for shirts, I did the first one, the HTV, I did that with the shirt just put into the press, but you can also thread your shirts. So we could pull the drawer out, thread the shirt onto the platen. We just need to be sure to turn the print around when we add it. And now I can kind of start preheating this and adjusting my pressure once again. And for this, I will want like a medium to light pressure, so I'm really gonna remove some of that pressure. Once I get the pressure just like I like it, I could leave it closed for a few seconds, help to preheat that shirt, or I could lift it up. Remember, this is an auto mode, so I can always lift it up with the green button on the side of the control box. Now for sublimation, however, the ink could actually go through this first layer. So I'm gonna pull the drawer back out. What I'm gonna do is add a piece of protective paper under this first layer because you don't wanna sublimate on your cover and ruin that. So I'm gonna put a sheet of protective paper underneath here. And we can just add the sublimation print here. A few pieces of heat resistant tape to hold that into place. And again, because it's sublimation, another piece of protective paper over the top. Then once it's heated up, we can just close that down and press. And once that's done, it automatically lifts and we can remove that sublimation print. And we have a gorgeous sublimation shirt. So I do also want to do some thicker items. This is a bag tag for sublimation. I already have the sublimation print in place and it's taped down. I'm going to put protective paper on both sides. And I am going to lighten that pressure a lot. So I'm going to do a very light pressure because when I put this in, it is thicker. And I want to make sure that I still have like light to medium pressure. So we'll just go ahead and close this down. So this is a very small blank put in the middle of this press. And then we'll just let that heat up. And once that's done, just go ahead and remove the sublimation print. Again, a gorgeous result. Now I have one more blank, also a sublimation blank, also one I've already prepared. This one is even thicker. So I am going to really back off that pressure. And when I do that, it is going to read a 0 if I close it right now. Because the top is not even touching the platen, your pressure readout will read a 0. But when I put the thick blank inside, I should get a pressure readout. So I'm gonna go ahead and close it. And it is even still too much, so I'm gonna back off. Still too much. And that is good. So now we're going to press that thicker blank. Now that one's done, and you can hear, if you listen, that the press beeps a few seconds before it actually auto opens. It's just for safety reasons, just to let you know that it is about to open. And this one I'm gonna peek at it, and it looks great. So this was a coaster, and again, it looks amazing. So here's a look at some of the results. First being this gorgeous HTV, it worked perfectly on this. Then I moved on to a DTF print. Again, gorgeous, gorgeous results. And then I moved on to sublimation. First, I did a sublimation shirt. Again, it looked amazing. Bag tag was the first thing I did, so getting a little thicker. And then I went even thicker with this cork back coaster. You can see just how thick that is. And all of the projects looked really, really great, and I love the results of each of them. So I did want to highlight one more feature. I'm not going to cover how to do it. However, the manual that comes with the machine will tell you how to do temperature calibration. So if you ever feel like this heat press is off, like it is too cold, too hot, something is off with the press, you can actually check the temperature and calibrate the heat press to be the correct temperature. I feel like that is a huge pro for those of us that maybe have struggled in the past with a heat press that was faulty. This one you can actually calibrate it. So you can expect to use it for the long haul. Even if your temperature gets off, you can just fix it with this press instead of struggling through it. So now, pros and cons of this press. So first of all, the pros. I love the pressure readout. It makes projects so much simpler than kind of guessing the pressure. I do also love the pull-out tray. I love that the platens themselves are interchangeable. That way if I wanted to change it in the future, now you might be saying to yourself, like, why would you want to change it? A lot of people like a smaller platen for some other projects. If you are that person, this quick swap feature is going to be a game changer for you because you can just swap them interchangeably just within a few minutes, as I showed you earlier in this video. The auto open for me is also a huge plus. Now I do like that this is a semi-auto press, so that means I can use it in the automatic mode, or I showed you I could flip it and use it manually. I do like that because sometimes I'm doing a process that I just need to hover over something to heat it up in order to remove moisture. I could just do that with the manual function on this instead of having it always constantly trying to open on me and pressing it back down. I could just flip it and use the manual mode when I'm doing things like that, or if I'm preheating a bunch of things. That's probably when I would use manual mode, but it is a great option. And then overall, the press is very easy to set up and it is very easy to use. That is kind of the top two things I'm always looking for with a press. And along with all these features, it makes this a really, really great press. Now for the cons for me, I do feel like that the control panel is in a very awkward place. So I kind of have to close it a little bit in order to adjust the time and temperature if I'm standing in front of it. So it is a little bit awkward as far as where those buttons are located. The pressure knob, I felt like I needed to close it just a little bit to adjust it up and down, but that wasn't super awkward for me, so I wasn't too concerned about that. I do kind of like the location of the emergency stop button being on the side of the control panel. Not super awkward. However, you do need to reach across the heat press itself. So the heat press may be hot and you have it on automatic, you want to stop it, you want it to open up, you would have to kind of reach across the heat press to reach that. But it does pause for a few seconds. So once you hit that, it pauses for a few seconds before it pops up, which I do like because you're leaning over it and you don't want the heat press top to like basically pop you in the mouth as it pops open. So it does pause a few seconds, but for safety reasons, if you're leaning over the press, I would always have your hand on the handle just to make sure it doesn't pop up and hit you as it opens up once you hit that kind of emergency stop button. Then the only other con might be the price. Like I said, it is comparable to like the full price of the Cricut Auto Press. So it is a more expensive press. However, I feel like for all of the features that it has, and it is a very sturdy press, that it is a good value for the money. If you want to press with the pressure readout that I've showed you here, I feel like you are going to have to get up into that price range. So I do feel like it is a good price for all the features that you get with this press. So if you're looking to upgrade, you want to upgrade for your business, you want to just upgrade for your craft room, this might be a good option. Now this does come in different sizes. I am using the 16 by 20. I did like the 16 by 20 size. I have been wanting a larger press for a while now in order to press larger projects and press multiple things at once even. So I have been keeping my eye out and looking for a larger press size. So if you're looking for a larger press size that has all of these features, you might be interested in this press. So again, this one is the Transpro Plus 16 by 20 semi-auto heat press, and I will link to it in the description below this video. If you want to purchase it, if you were like, I am ready to purchase this press, it sounds amazing, you can head there and you can purchase it. Or you can head there, click the link, and you can learn more about the press on their page. They have several videos. You might learn more about it before you actually pull the trigger and make a purchase. I will also have the Aloe Gorgeous file for free, and I'll have that link in the description below this video. So you want to grab a free file, you can do that. And I'll also link to all of the supplies that I personally used within this video. If you saw a project and you wanted to make it, then I will link to those in the description of this video as well. Now, if you have any questions about this press or anything we've covered, drop down in the comment section, ask away. If you liked this video and it helped you, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have videos just like this one every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.